Hello and welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm your host, Alex. Today is May 7th, 2025, and we're diving into an ICLR conference paper titled Geometry of Neural Reinforcement Learning in Continuous State and Action Spaces, published a little over 3 months ago on January 22nd. This paper proposes a geometric approach to understand reinforcement learning in continuous settings, suggesting that the states an agent explores actually form a low-dimensional structure, or manifold. Alright, so to help visualize this idea of a low-dimensional structure, the first figure shows an open cylinder. Its surface is a 2D manifold, essentially a 2D sheet existing in 3D space, which can be locally mapped to a flat 2D plane. This illustrates the core idea. States explored by an agent in its Markov decision process, or MDP, might form such a simpler shape in a larger space. Okay, now this next figure provides some important groundwork for their theoretical claims. It plots the difference in returns against the increasing width of the neural network used for the policy. Notice how as the network gets wider, this difference shrinks, approaching zero. This underpins their use of wide networks, which can be effectively linearized for easier analysis of that state manifold. So building on that, these 4 plots offer strong empirical support. They show the estimated dimensionality of attainable states, that's the blue line, in several MuJoCo environments. Notice how this blue line is consistently far below the green line, representing the nominal state space dimension, or DS. More importantly, it's also below the red line, which is their theoretical upper bound of 2 day A plus 1, where day is the action space dimension. This really backs their theory. Next, this plot examines a simpler, toy linear system. The y-axis shows the estimated intrinsic dimension of states the agent can reach, while the x-axis represents the system's overall, or extrinsic, dimension. Crucially, even as this extrinsic dimension grows, the intrinsic dimension stays low, below 2. This is consistent with their theoretical bound of 3 for this specific setup, where the action dimension, dA, is 1. Okay, so putting this theory into practice, these plots compare the performance of a standard soft actor critic, or SAC, algorithm in blue, with their modified sparse SAC in red. This sparse version explicitly learns that low-dimensional state representation we've been discussing. Across these challenging DM control environments like Ant and Dogwalk, we see sparse SAC achieving significantly higher discounted returns, showing the real-world benefit of their geometric insight. Okay, so we've seen the performance gains from sparse SAC. Now, these 6 plots further validate their theoretical approach. For the half-cheated task, they compare returns of a standard canonical policy in red with a linearized policy in blue, one approximated as linear. As network width grows, especially beyond a log2 width of 15, the blue line closely tracks the red. This supports their use of linearized models for analysis. Okay, building on those performance improvements we saw with sparse SAC, these 2 plots now look at a practical aspect, computational throughput. They show steps per second for standard SAC in blue and their sparse SAC in red across training samples. For Ant, sparse SAC drops from about 90 to 65 steps per second. So it's a bit slower, but the authors argued the significant performance gains justify this increased computation. Alright, so despite that slight increase in computation, the big takeaway is this. Neural RL agents, even in very high-dimensional spaces, tend to explore a much simpler, low-dimensional structure, or manifold. And, critically, its size is linked to the action space. This geometric view is a powerful one. That's all for this AI Research Roundup. Thanks for listening. I'm Alex.